very, very much. And what a pleasure it is to be in the same hotel, having Connecticut and Tennessee together. Now, if we could just get Gino Oriam and Pat Summitt together, we could really have wonderful. I must say, by the way, we this Tennessee volunteer UConn Husky basketball competition has been one of the great things in sports. I'm delighted to be with all of you, and what a great convention we're having. I'll tell you, beginning Monday night, I'm telling you, I've been through a lot of emotional moments in politics. But watching Ted Kennedy show up there after all he's been through over the last number of weeks, within the process, and then Michelle Obama, I'll tell you, she did a fabulous job. I'll tell you. Hillary and Bill Clinton and Joe Biden and one speaker after another. Just been a wonderful, wonderful 3 days here for us to remind each other and the country what we Democrats stand for and what we're all hoping. I love last night someone said it's not 4 more years, it's only 4 more months, and then the country's going to get back. I'm pleased to be here for many reasons, and not the least of which, of course, is my wonderful relationship with Jim Sasser, Mary Sasser. Just wonderful, wonderful friends for so many years in serving together in the Congress. And thank you, Tennessee, for giving us Jim Sasser. What a great, great Democrat. A huge difference in what wonderful representation Jim and Mary were for our country and the People's Republic of China for those years. Critical relationship, not only then, but now, of course, a growing one. And I can just tell you over and over again what a fabulous job Jim did for our nation during a very difficult time, and working that relationship as important as it is. And what a great tradition to turn around and see Gray chairing this party. I'll tell you, I'm all for that. I'll tell you, Gray Sasser, you're just doing a great job. Where'd you go, Gray? So many distinguished guests here in the room from Tennessee politics, the governor, member of the congressional delegation, leaders of the state legislature, and the like. So I just want to say to all of them, thank you for what you're doing for our country. What a great source. I was elected to Congress back in 1974. 2 years later, a freshman from Tennessee arrived by the name of Al Gore. And I know tonight you're here with Al. He chose a senator from Connecticut to run with him in 2000. Well, he chose the wrong senator to run with him. I was available in those days. On the way, and of course, going back over the years, I think that my dad served in Congress, of course, with Al's father as well. So I know Al, even growing up as children, we met each other literally as high school students growing up together in Washington, D.C. And so a great tradition going back a long time. And look, all of this is going to play out so quickly. I was a candidate, some people may remember actually, as part of those debates early on. I must tell you, it came to a speaking call in Iowa, of course. And about a week after the Iowa caucuses, I'm a late bloomer in the father business. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, my 2 daughters. As I used to say, I was the only candidate running for president that got mail from AARP and diaper services. I had a constituent interest. About a week after the Iowa caucuses, my 2-year-old, then 2-year-old, looked up at me one night. She said, "Why are you not at work?" Having seen me in a coat and tie for the last 2 years. Before I could take a breath, the 6-year-old said, "Because he lost. Ran a good race, but he lost." When you go back home, they bring you right back down to earth. But it was a great experience to go through it and to be part of those debates and forums early on in the process. And one of the things I used to say, looking at the candidates with Joe Biden, myself, and Bill Richardson, who were on that podium, along with, of course, Hillary and Barack Obama, is that really wasn't great substantive differences. I know the media tried to make a big deal out of various ideas we had on healthcare and energy policy and the like, and I'm not suggesting the differences didn't have some value. But I've been around long enough to remember we had huge divisions in our party, major splits over policy issues. It would keep us divided as a party. It made it difficult for us to win these elections. But as I said over and over again during that campaign, campaigns are never about the candidates or about the parties that we are affiliated with. Campaigns are about the people who count on us to get things right for them. That's what politics is always about. It's about the people not in this room, not in that hall last night, The people out there last night wondering whether or not their job would be there the next day. Frightened to death they may get sick or their child will, and they don't have the resources to pay for that health care. Wondering about if they retire, whether or not they can do so with dignity and some financial security. Wondering how they're going to get to their job in the morning because the cost of gasoline has gone through the ceiling. And they want to know whether anybody gets this and understands it. It's not important whether or not you're from New England or Tennessee or anywhere else. The issues are the same no matter where you go in America. And that is they want a politics, they want a government that will go to work on behalf of the American working family. That's what it's about. There's so much at stake here. So much is going to be decided by the decision we as a country make in less than 65 days. All hangs in the balance. It isn't just the policy questions. I was saying to my delegation down the hall in Connecticut the other day, an issue that isn't addressed. I don't think it was talked about much over the 3 days here. But it's not an exaggeration to tell you here in Tennessee this morning that over the next 4 years, not 8 years, there may be as many as 4 replacements on the Supreme Court of the United States. And I don't need to tell you what it means, not just for 8 years, maybe for the next 30 years. If we end up with nominees like Anton Scalia and others, who frankly have driven this country in the absolute opposite direction of where we've been heading for the last 200 plus years. And the idea that we're going to tolerate or allow a John McCain administration to continue the kind of nominees that George Bush has given us and drive our country in the wrong direction is something that we Americans cannot tolerate. So today we're going to be leaving here tonight with a great gathering at this stadium here in Denver. But the real work begins tomorrow. And that is to get out to our respective states to energize our people. 40 million people voted these primaries and caucuses. 100 more people have yet to express their choice for the presidency of the United States. We've got 63 days to convince that 100 million Americans that Barack Obama ought to be the president of the United States, and Joe Biden ought to be the president. I don't know the details of Tennessee in terms of how many tight races you have. I was disappointed, of course, 2 years ago. I was elected to Congress with Harold Ford Sr. And to watch young Harold Ford being such a star, and what a great disappointment it was, he didn't make it to the United States Senate. But I know that Tennesseans are going to get out and do the right thing and support good candidates. We're going to do our job in Connecticut. I've told Barack Obama and Joe Biden I'll go anywhere, anytime, any place to make that case before anyone in this country about the choice they need to make on behalf of our nation and its future. That 3-year-old of mine, that 6-year-old of mine, are going to one day ask their father, and through me they're going to be asking you, what we did at this moment. This is our turn. This is our watch now. We've inherited a remarkable country with an incredible legacy. And while we haven't achieved that more perfect union that our founders talked about, we're getting there. Every time we get closer to it. 45 years ago today, Dr. Martin Luther King reminded us that he had dreams. Just imagine what he'd be thinking today. Imagine what he'd be thinking today. To watch a young man be nominated for the presidency of the United States, an African American embraced by all Americans. This is our moment, our time. And I promise you today, this is a time you will tell your children and your grandchildren about to your dying day, that you were in Denver, Colorado, in late August of 2008, and you watched America change. You watched America reach to its future. We have those ideals crafted more than 2 centuries ago and embodied the choice we, this Democratic Party, have made at the outset of the 21st century. And my daughters are going to grow up in a better country and a better world because of the decisions we Democrats have made this year. And that's something you'll be able to tell your children about and your grandchildren about for the rest of your lives. Let's not let this fail in the next 63 days. We've come this far. We've journeyed this long. We've worked this hard. We're not going to let it fail now. I thank you for